Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the home studio. The other day, I cooked up a beat with the Electric Sunburst session guitar, and I completely forgot to record my screen. The beat's already made, but I'm going to go ahead and break down how I made the beat and how you can go about making a beat similar to this. So let's get into it. I'm pretty sure when I started, I just used this stock default setting with the sound preset being the 2 clean R&B and the melody being open. I have my ghost channels on so you can see the original MIDI here. But basically what I did was I'm in D sharp minor. So I started on the root note. I skipped a note in the scale, placed a note. Skip a note in the scale, place a note. And that is our first chord, D sharp minor chord. You can tell it's a minor because there's 2 spaces here, there's 3 spaces here. If it was like this, that would be a major chord. And I just inverted the F sharp, so I just highlighted that, hit control, and then tapped the arrow up. And then I went ahead and strummed it out. But I didn't really like how that sounded right away, so I took the F sharp and I flattened it. And then I went ahead and duplicated that chord, just like that. Strum it out. Except we're up an octave here. Cool. To make the next chord, I just went down 1 note in the scale and did the same exact process to make the first chord. Skip a note in the scale, place. Skip a note in the scale, place. And if you notice here, we have 3 and 2. So this will be a major chord. So this is C sharp major. Highlighted the middle note, pitched it up. Same thing. I went ahead and strummed it. And you can see the ghost note here. Instead of leaving it on F, I just pitched it up 1. And then for the next strum, pitched it back down to the F sharp. So then we should end up with this. Cool, and don't worry about these passing notes right now. I added those in later, so I'll talk to you about them later. And then I followed the same exact process for the next chord. You guys can tell just by looking at the ghost notes, same exact thing. I went down 1 note in the scale, skip a note, place, skip a note, place, highlighted the middle note, inverted it, strummed it out. And then this one was a tiny bit different. Instead of going up or down 1 note, I had to go up a couple semitones. And then there's our third chord. And then to make our final chord, all I did was copy the second chord over. Boom. Pasted it. Took the F sharp, pitched it down. Took the F, pitched it up. And then I added in 1 more F. Because these chords are going in a downward motion, I added in these 2 notes going down as well. Just some passing notes to kind of connect this section to this section. And this was just done by ear. I just clicked those in. And then you can see I took the C sharp, just how it is, copied it, and moved it to the side. And that gives us this. I went ahead and messed around with the MIDI a little bit. I just acted like I was plucking it. So if you're like playing a guitar, you might pluck the next strings harder than the first string. At least that's how I envisioned it. That's why I kind of did that little like stare thing that you can see there. Just make sure that whatever you do, don't leave them 100% exactly the same, or it's just not going to sound humanized at all. And then for effects on that, I just added a delay. I did that before I printed it. I added a delay. I had a Neutron 4. I just clicked on the guitar, added a little bit more punch, added a little bit of distortion, tape distortion, a little bit of width, just cut out the bottoms a little bit, and then I filtered it down for a later section. But I'll get to that later. Then I literally just copied and pasted that MIDI onto a piano It's kind of in the background and it's quiet. It's mainly there to like give a feeling of depth more than it is for you to actually hear. So yeah, it's very in the background, but layered with the guitar, I feel like it adds a little bit more feeling to it. Cool. Next, I added in this muted guitar, and this is also from Session Guitarist. One of these, so I can't find the exact preset that I used. I was just messing with this for the very first time ever, and I don't know what I was clicking. I was like, let me just try this out. But it was one of these muted ones that I know that I used. Basically, all I did was I just followed the root notes. I think I pitched it up an octave. Pretty sure I added Baby Come Back on there. And that ended up giving me this muted guitar layer. And then I went ahead and cut out the lows, added a default reverb, and just pulled the mix down to 47%. And altogether, those 3 layers gave me this. As soon as I got that down, I was like, all right, let's add some drums in here. I went ahead and added a clap. Except this clap, what I did was every third clap within 2 bars I took out. So you can see here, 2 bars, third clap's gone, third clap is gone, 2 bars, third clap is gone. Kind of gives you a feeling of uncertainty because usually claps are on 2 and 4. I just like the feeling that it gave to this. So this is what it sounds like with the melody. Went ahead and added a hi-hat, added a basic 2-step. It's kind of fast because we're at 101 BPM, messed with the velocity, so like every other one. And then just added a few simple rolls here and there and kind of messed with the velocity on those, and this is what we got with that. Added in a snare for a little bit of extra bounce. And that kind of fills up the space where that like third clap is not. Then I added an open hat just to accent that downbeat. I added in a shaker because I just felt like the shaker sounded good in some of these parts. By the way, all these drum sounds are from a brand new kit that I just dropped. It is 100% free. I'll leave a link in the description for you so you can grab the kit and cook up with it yourself. Basically, all the beats that you've been hearing me make for the past few months, I've been using this kit to make these beats. Yeah, have at it. It's 100% free. I hope you make something dope with it. I added a second hi-hat here. This one kind of adds a little bit more rhythm and plays off of the 808s. Cool. And then the 808s. Simple. All I did was I followed the root note, chopped some things up here and there where I thought it sounded rhythmically good. Honestly, I've been trying to simplify my 808s because I feel like 808s are just cooler when there's less of them because it just makes them hit that much harder when you finally do hear one. I'm working on simplifying my 808s rather than adding way too many. I went ahead and found a nice lead guitar on Splice. All that is on that is an EQ. Just cut out some of the highs, cut out some of the lows. And I added a Lux verb. Pretty sure I put this leader preset on it. And then I just turned the mix level down to 28% over here. Added in this vocal.
Baby, can't you hear my call? Is it loud enough? Don't wanna fall. You know I need you. I can't do it on my own.
I was trying to look for something more ambient, but I came across that and I was like, dang, this feels like it just fits really well. So cut out some highs, cut out some lows, just filtered it. Once again, another default reverb. I just pulled the mix down to 20%. There were a few more things that I added for like the verse section. I switched up the clap and the snare and I added this rim. I put it on beat 3 instead of 2 and 4, just to give it a little switch up.
Baby, can't you hear my call? Is it loud enough?
That way it gives it a little bit of a different feeling when we get to the verses. I also added in this kick. Then this little bridge section, I reversed the guitar, reversed the piano, reversed the muted guitar, added in some ambience from our producer grind pack, added in some swells. That is where that extra EQ is, if you were wondering why there was that extra EQ on the guitar. The reverse guitar sounded a little harsher. I automated it to start right at this bridge section, and then it turns off again. But that was mainly just to cut out some harshness when the reverse came in. Other than that, there's this really cool thing that I did, the outro. I think it's cool anyway. I just chopped up the guitar a tiny bit here to create a little something different. And all I did was I just chopped up the guitar in a couple places. I cut out the swell here, right after the kick and right after the guitar. That way there's some silence. And then I just copied it over, pulled that back out. So you still get that like kind of crash down riser type thing. Cuts out on the first kick. And that second kick is when the guitar comes back in. And the rim is when everything comes back in again. I really like how this beat turned out. It's simple, but I think it's catchy. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.